Oops. Hang on.
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for joining our webinar today on DataMetrics reporting capabilities. My name is Melissa Andrade, and I am the Marketing Director here at DataMyte. Our agenda for today will be a brief intro, followed by a 35 to 40-minute presentation given by Vicki Peary, a Solutions Engineer team member here at DataMyte. At the end, we will have 10 to 15 minutes of time for any questions you may have. The audio capability is turned off for you while joining us today. If you have specific questions, we ask that you utilize the GoToWebinar questions feature or request follow-up by one of our solutions experts so that we can best address your specific requirements. So send us those questions so we can look at them and try to address them at the end. This webinar is recorded, and you will receive a link to it afterwards in case you need to leave early. As a short company intro, I'd like to point out that DataMyte has over 40 years of expertise in the quality management space, with hardware and software solutions to address many quality areas. We consider ourselves total quality experts, starting with the quality planning. We help you manage your AP/QP process, meet industry standards, and integrate with your SPC to expedite response time to your quality data. We have extensive ability to collect your factory floor production and audit data through fixed-station and mobile. Most importantly, we offer strong reporting capabilities to manage a closed-loop quality improvement process utilizing dashboards, alerts, and notifications. Here's an overview of the DataMyte quality system. This flowchart provides a quality manager viewpoint, looking at his or her organization, and shows where DataMyte fits. We pull in data from all of your data silos and hundreds of gauges, sensors, or machines, and this gets stored in a central repository. With our solutions, we can integrate your data into your ERP or MES system or a more sophisticated corporate reporting platform such as BI. At this point, I will turn it over to Vicki Peary, who will walk us through how DataMetrics SPC provides real-time statistical insight and easy-to-access information on your production data, ranging from a broad data set to distinct causes of variation, such as operator interactions or equipment performance. Vicki?
Thank you, Melissa. Here is our agenda for the DataMetrics Analysis and Reporting webinar. I will cover the topics listed on the slide, and then my colleagues and I will address your questions. Remember, as Melissa said, please send your questions to our team in the GoToWebinar question tool. I will cover DataMetrics reporting overview, creating data filters, basic reporting, process control, user-defined reporting, report binders, event report, DAR Scheduler, and then, of course, we will address your questions. DataMetrics Analysis and Reporting, called DAR, provides statistical insight into production data with easy access to information ranging from a broad data set to distinct causes of variation such as operator interactions or equipment performance. This powerful analysis tool helps users determine the effectiveness of the production process to maintain or improve product quality, meet production goals, reduce scrap and rework, which reduces cost, and comply with customer requirements and industry standards. Okay, where's my mouse? DAR allows you to retrieve characteristic data from the DataMetrics database using data filters. Data filters have options to filter by label, lot, process, setup, or collector. Charts have drill-down capability for analysis, again, by label, process, lot, setup, etc. You can create your own user-defined report template with customizable columnar reports, which can be exported to Excel, as CSV, or as PDF. And reports or charts can be saved or emailed. DAR is also where you manage lots, you rename lots, close lots for production, and merge lot data. You can create one-click report binders to quickly generate frequently used reports. You can create event filters to show alarms and events. And you can even schedule data and event reports with DAR Scheduler, which is an optional purchase. DAR offers templates for analysis, which include variable report templates such as histogram, control chart, and capability report. Our attribute report templates offer the control chart, Pareto, and subgroup report. Both attribute and variable data collection use the cause Pareto for root cause analysis. Moreover, you can create your own variable or attribute reports and save those for you and other team members to use. These custom reports can highlight the key indicators monitored by engineering or supervisors. For example, some of my customers create reports that they use for product release, verifying the expected number of samples were tested and making sure that no samples were out of spec in the batch. There are 3 simple steps required to begin data analysis in DAR. Create a data filter, open a report template, and then move data from the filter to the report. Data filters are a list of parameters used to retrieve data stored in the DataMetrics database. They are easily created on the fly and can be saved to use again if desired. You need to set a time frame, which can be relative or move in time, using the previous day, previous week, etc. options. You can set a defined date and time or pull a set number of subgroups like the most recent 30 subgroups. The desired characteristics are either selected by the user or automatically selected to pull anything active in the time frame. At this point, you can finish the data filter and begin analysis, or you can add additional filtering. Filtering allows you to exclude data that does not match the criteria you select. You can add filtering for data collectors, inspection plans, lots, processes, or labels. Data filters can be saved and reused, modified by the owner, copied as needed, and the date and time range can be changed on the fly with a right-click. DAR allows you to create a variety of data reports and charts based on the currently active data filter. Both our capability and box and Whiskers report indicate the uniformity of the product that a process can produce. This is especially useful for indicating whether a distribution is normal or not normal, and where there are potential unusual observations or outliers in your data set. You generate reports from the active data set, or drill down to view your data by labels, collectors, or lots, to name just a few options. These reports can display a virtually unlimited number of columns to represent different part characteristics in the current data set. Each graphical column is correlated to a statistic table that provides the requisite statistical information for that column. From the right-click menu in Properties, you can order the characteristics by CPK and increase the number of display columns, which shows the least capable characteristics first, reduces the need to scroll through additional pages. You can also use the context menu to generate reports from characteristics, such as a control chart and a histogram for quick comparison of the run and the spread. The Piece Data Report provides subgroup level details that are segregated by data collector. This report highlights out-of-spec data with colored cells. The red cells are those above the upper spec limit. The pink are below the lower spec limit, and gray or teal means information was not available. This display also presents all label values assigned to each measurement, as well as the time and date of collection. I describe this report as the pulse check of the production process. Now it's time for a poll question.
And the question is, how many years have you been using DataMetrics Analysis and Reporting? here are our results.
Thank you for participating, everybody. Remember, DAR provides real-time statistical insight and easy access to information on your production data, which is readily displayed in the histogram. The histogram graphically displays a frequency distribution presenting each characteristic on a separate chart. It has abundant statistical calculations displayed in the statistics table, including capability statistics and normality statistics like skewedness, kurtosis, and normal chi-squared. With a right-click on the chart, you open the context menu where you have access to scaling, reports, drill down on the active characteristic in the data set, global drill down, which includes all characteristics in the data set, and properties. The report options lets you populate a different report template from the histogram data set. These generated reports are created using cached data of the current data set, so they load much faster than requerying the database from the data filter tree. Opening properties gives access to a selection of alternative statistic sets, as well as enabling both actual and estimated statistics. These statistic sets include the standard statistic set, which contains CPK, CR, CP, CPU, and CPL. The automotive industry uses the AIAG statistic set, including PPK, PR, PP, CPU, and CPL, while the aerospace industry uses D1 9001 specification, which provides alternative process capability analysis such as CP and CPK for specific cases. Once applied in the histogram, the chosen statistic set will be used for any reports generated from this data set. This properties window also includes a confidence level, which refers to the probability that a variable will fall within a confidence interval. The default confidence level of 0.95 is commonly used. The drill down feature allows you to perform additional filtering on the currently displayed chart. This creates a new report for each element of the subset of your primary chart, with drill down values displayed in the title of the chart. Select the drill down by option, and you can evaluate data from the active characteristic, or use the global drill down to include all characteristics in the data set. This generates more detailed histograms, such as drilling down by process or label value. Here, you see the characteristic ID histograms here you see the characteristic ID 0002 drilled down to include all cells with a CPK of 0.35694, the weakest performer, cell 1, with a CPK of 0.28761, and the strongest cell, cell 5, with a CPK of 0.49552. The variable control chart represents a plot of the parameters of process performance, usually determined by regular sampling of the part as a function, usually of time, or unit number, or other chronological variable. The control limits are plotted for comparison. This means that the upper control limit, or UCL, is the upper boundary line specifying the largest value that can be plotted without indicating that the value is out of control. The lower control limit, or LCL, is the lower boundary line specifying the smallest value that can be plotted without indicating that the value is out of control. And the center line is the current process average of subgroups. That's the process average when the control limits were calculated. Each data point is the mean value of the measurement for a part sampled of a specific size. That's your X chart. The range of values in the sample is the R chart, or if you're using the sigma values of the sample is in the sigma chart. Remember, most graphical elements on the chart, such as plot point size, points per page, and so on are configurable. The control chart has more menu selections than any other DAR report. In addition to the options in the histogram, capability report, and box and whiskers reports, this provides access to calculating control limits. This includes RBAR, which uses the RBAR over D2 method to calculate control limits. Sigma of data calculates control limits based on sigma of data, while sigma bar calculates control limits based on sigma bar. Modified uses the modified method to calculate control limits, and manual means manually entering the control limits, but it will calculate a center line. Acceptance limits are using distinct algorithms for calculating control limits for the control chart. You can edit subgroup data by selecting the data point and then choosing Edit Selected Subgroup from the context menu. The Find option allows you to locate specific points, such as those collected in the first shift, subgroups with cause or corrective actions, and subgroups with control limit violations. The control chart shows you can generate a sub-report by indicating a group of data points and then use the right-click menu to select control chart. You can select a subgroup by using the control key to highlight data points or use the mouse to drag a box around the desired data points. In addition, subgroups can be omitted and restored. Omitted data points can be hidden. The control chart shows stepped limits, which indicates subgroups with incomplete data entry, such as when pieces are skipped during measurement. Data points in green indicating they are in control. Data points in red indicating they're out of control or out of spec. Diamond-shaped data points have a cause value attached, and the red half circle or half diamond indicates the values are off the scale for this chart. This chart also supports trend detection. Trend conditions for characteristics are defined using DataMetrics Setup Editor. Trend types include a run trend occurs when a predefined number of consecutive subgroups fall into an ascending or descending pattern. A shift trend is when a predefined number of consecutive subgroups fall in one side of the center line. The default shift trend is 7 consecutive subgroups. The instability trend occurs when several subgroups, labeled X, out of a set of subgroups labeled Y, falls beyond a specific sigma value, Z, on one side of the center line, while the mixture trend includes X subgroups out of a set of Y subgroups falling outside Z, sigma, on either side of the center line. Again, you set the parameters for this evaluation in DataMetrics Setup Editor. This chart is showing the systemic trend. A systemic variable condition occurs with a number of subgroups X systemically alternating on either side of the center line. The net weight control chart offers tracking and control of your processes based on net weight. This ability is not only critical to meeting FDA, USDA, and other government label compliance regulations, but is a key to profitability. The lot average graph portrays a graphical image of lot status as production is running. This chart plots points based on the cumulative lot average of your data set or the percent product above label. This control chart also has the robust memory options and menu options in the right-click menu that the control chart supports, such as drill down options, control limit calculations, edit and omit data, stepped limits for varied subgroup sizes, and your find option. DAR also offers lot management reporting in the Tools drop-down lot analysis selection, which displays lots with data shown for the chosen time period. You can filter to show only open lots or only closed lots. Multiple lots can be closed or reopened at the same time. Closed lots do not show up in the open lots list. Empty lots can be deleted. Closed lots are available for analysis, and lots can be renamed. Lot data can be merged or reassigned. So now it's time for another polling question.
And our question is, which standard report templates do you use most often? And you can say multiple responses in this one. Cool. Thanks for voting. Here's the results.
All right. The variable subgroup report provides details about characteristic data selected from the current data set, including the subgroup number, date and time of collection, subgroup size, specification limits, the collector name, and all label information. The summary data report also provides information about characteristic data selected from the current data set. Only this report provides summary statistics about each subgroup, including the date and time of collection, subgroup size, the minimum value, the maximum value, the X-bar or average value, the range, and the standard deviation. Next, we have the cause Pareto. This report shows the frequency of occurrence of identified causes of variation, ordering from highest to lowest frequency. This helps to decide quality control priorities when more than one concern is present. Data from both attribute and variable data collection populate this report. Attribute Pareto report. The attribute data is an inspection strategy evaluating the product for either the presence or absence of defects, such as dents, scratches, or cracks, or verifying the label is properly placed and legible, or the result of data that is measurable but recorded as pass or fail, as when using a go or no-go gauge. Data collection strategies include the number of defective parts in a lot, the number of defects on a part, or the percent of defects likely to be found in a lot. The attribute control chart and Pareto chart groups all types of recorded defects into one view from which you can use different attribute statistics. So your C, P, NP, etc., without having to reload your current data set. They also offer drill down options by defect, labels, setup, or collector. The control chart provides support for calculating control limits and populating other attribute reports. Reports can be shared. Populated reports are easily saved in static HTML format, which you can post on your company's intranet or internet. You can print or send via email in PDF format to the desired audience from the File drop-down menu. Custom reports, called user-defined reports, which is the next topic, can be exported in Excel, CSV, or PDF presentation from icons representing those formats on the report as displayed in the slide. As mentioned, you can create your own reports. Once the user-defined report is populated with data, you can change report sorting, filter report columns, print the report, or export to Excel, CSV, or PDF. Our user-defined report wizard guides you through creating a custom variable or attribute report template that can be applied to data sets. You can start the wizard by selecting User-Defined Report Wizard from the Tools menu, and then you will select either a separate line for each unique drill-down selection, which is the flat version, or the combined drill-down values, which we call hierarchical, that you can expand to see each selection on a separate line. Next, you select the desired statistics from our extensive library of options. That includes net weight statistics, such as label weight, which applies to characteristics, percent above label, percent below MOV estimated or percent below T1 estimated, and release status. You can include drill-down information from processes, labels, inspection plans, and data collectors if desired. You can even add statistical filtering to focus on the least or most capable processes. Then you can configure the look of the report and save it for reuse. One of the most powerful tools in DAR is the report binder, which bundles a data filter and one or more report templates for quick launch. I call this my one-click reporting. Using the report binder saves you time since you won't need to redefine a data set and apply it to various report templates as separate operations. Just select the report binder and your various reports will load into analysis and reporting in one step. You can create report binders using the report binder wizard, accessed either by selecting File, New Report Binder Wizard from the menu, or by using the right-click menu from the Report Binder Navigation tab at the bottom left side of the screen. First, you select a Save Data Filter or Create, Save, and then use a new one. Next, select Report Templates, including your own custom reports if desired. You must add characteristics to reports. You can add all of your characteristics to each report or just a subset as required. Each report has to have at least one characteristic. Finally, you name and save the report. Those options are for me only or for anyone. Once saved, your report will launch and be ready for analysis. Reports launch in one click with all the interactive capability of the reports at your fingertips. Saved report binders are displayed in a folder report structure. Each folder or binder contains one or more report templates. You can open a saved report binder by double-clicking its name in the list. When you do so, the associated report templates will open in the output window and the data set will automatically be applied to each report. When a report binder is selected, its data filter information is displayed in the lower pane of the report binder screen. You can change the data filter date and time span by right-clicking on a report template name and selecting Change Date Filter Date Time from the menu. I use this to help a customer generate a monthly report recently. They needed only the characteristics labeled average, but there were thousands of characteristics to sort through, and to select only those with that name was onerous, especially since some of them were abbreviated to AVG. So instead of doing that, we created a user-defined report with the required capability statistics and bundled it with a data filter pulling all data from the previous month. Once the report populated, we filtered the characteristics for those containing capital A, lowercase b. This gave exactly the desired information, capturing both average and AVG data. The event report shows data collection events. So that's trend conditions, assignable causes, limit violations, etc., with data refresh capability for real-time analysis. Events, along with associated information, are displayed in a table-like matrix with the capability of easily viewing data. The right-click context menu allows you to review reports generated from the alarm condition and examine subgroup-level details associated with an event. You can even edit the event in the generated control chart. Once evaluated, you can acknowledge the event to remove it from the screen and avoid duplication of efforts. DAR includes a last 30-day event filter in all DataMetrics databases, or you could create your own event filter. Existing filters have column filtering capability. This report also has icons to export it to Excel, CSV, or PDF. The colored circle or diamond indicates the direction and category of the violation, control limit or spec limit. Scrolling through the chart, you can review the alarm condition and any associated cause or corrective action. Sorry, we're skipping that question. Next, we'll talk about DAR Scheduler. You can report scheduling with this tool. You can schedule reports for regular delivery as desired, even when you're not in the office. Reports are delivered at the intervals you set. Customers use these to distribute reports for regularly scheduled review meetings. Either select a report binder or start from scratch by selecting a data filter, the report templates, assigning characteristics to templates, adding drill downs if desired. You can even preview the report in the wizard interface before you select your delivery options, which include email, printer, file, and FTP. Then you select your publishing options. We include web archive, CSV, MTW, and PDF, and then schedule the delivery frequency and the time. You can name and save the task, and it is ready to be sent. So, in summary, DAR supports logical flow for users. Data filters are created on the fly or can be saved in the database. You can populate standard report templates or create and populate custom templates. You can analyze data using drill down capability, generating child reports, and you can locate characteristics in a control chart for selected reporting or omission from capability calculations. Report binders are a one-click analysis tool that helps focus your time and analysis. And finally, you can schedule your reports to be delivered in the desired interval in multiple formats. All right, well, we have completed the presentation and now we're ready for your questions.
Okay. Hello, this is Diane Bundley. Vicki did all the heavy lifting. I just have to ask these questions here. First of all, there was a question, how do I edit or rename a user-defined report?
I can do that by going into the menu and into the navigation pane and right-clicking on the report itself. And that gives me the option to either rename it or open it and edit it. And trust me, you'll do that a lot because it often needs something else or doesn't quite display the way you want it to, but you will get it to go the way you want it to.
Will there be a link to the recorded presentation to be made available afterwards? Yes, I have the webinar set up to send you a link 2 days after, so before you come to the office on Monday, you will have received a link via email to the recorded webinar. This webinar will also be added to our webinar section of the website, so if you miss the email, you can always find it there in the future. When I have multiple reports open in DAR, is there a faster way to close those reports?
Well, I have a trick I use. This is Vicki, by the way. I will highlight the one on the far right and then start hitting my delete key, and that will close each of the reports.
Does the net weight chart allow direct input from a checkweigher? Yes. You know, that's done in DC Advanced. It's the same as any other scale. So that would be a DC Advanced thing. Oh, and also, that's interesting. There's another point to make. If you're using a checkweigher, and let's say if you're taking your samples after the checkweigher, because you have the checkweigher to kick off the low weights, there is a checkbox that you can have that will determine that you're using a checkweigher and therefore don't have a normal distribution. We can talk about that in another webinar here. Okay. We have another question. Is there a way to change the defect color on the Pareto report? Could we change the colors to mark specific defects as red? That's something I think we'll handle on a personal basis. We'll get back to you on that. Okay. In the example for the binders, you noted that a new data range could be changed on the fly. Is this also possible with other items like serial numbers?
For the binders, that's just the date and time range, but binders are so easy to create that if you have a different need, you can quickly create an additional binder.
Yeah, the binders are really useful for reports that you run over and over, relative time span, for instance, what ran yesterday, everything that ran yesterday, or a particular product that ran, today. But if you need to do more on the fly stuff, then you'll want to use the regular templates and, open up a data filter and apply it to the report. The report binders are not modifiable. They take a copy of the data filter and just use that. So they're not modifiable, but they're so easy to create that, you can just create a new one if it's not what you want.
It is a quick way to do your analysis. We've had many customers report to us that analysis that used to take half a day by sorting through charts takes half an hour with the report binder.
Is there a report template available that outputs all piece data with summary stats? Well, you're talking about piece data would be the individual values. So it wouldn't be in the same report. What?
What you'd want to do is create a user-defined report. On the second selection on a user-defined report, you're able to select that you want to get the individual values. Additionally, then you can bring in all the statistics that you want to bring in with that data. So a combination of selecting the second step in selection what fields you want in the user-defined report, and additionally picking what statistics you want to see with that will create a report that will allow you to dump out, I think, the data that you're looking for. And feel free to contact our support group. They can gladly walk you through that step.
Thank you, Clay. Clay is one of our senior developers and the manager of our professional services and solutions engineering team.
Can I ask, why can't I edit a data filter? I want to edit the date and time, and it won't let me.
You can edit date and time on other people's filters, but you can only edit your own data filters. So if you have a data filter that you want to change, but you didn't make it, you need to copy it first, and then you can make changes, or you can just make your own.
What does apply filter to data do? And also, what about without data?
Okay. Those are good questions. Thanks you, Diane. Apply filter to data means that if I'm using filtering components like a specific collector device or lot number, I want the data filter to ignore the values and data set that does not include those selected values. And that's kind of an and thing. So if I pick something that has one and not the other, I might not see it. So I apply the filter to limit what I will see. Without data gives me access to any characteristic in my database from which data has already been collected, rather than just showing me what is available in my time frame. I can use that to handpick critical characteristics only, but again, if I build something new, that won't be included in the data filter and I will have to modify it.
Okay, how about this? How do you get different control limits for multiple processes used to create a part?
When I'm in DAR, I'm going to want to drill down by process first. And then in each characteristic process, I will calculate the control limit. It will show an aggregate limit when all of the processes are displayed together. And then when you break it out by process, you will see the control limit of each individual process.
Okay, by selecting AIAG rules, will CPK report different values, or does PPK show up instead? Can we get both? I can answer that. When you select the AIAG statistics set, in the histogram, you'll see both PPK statistics and CPK statistics. If you're using the standard set, you're still seeing the PPK, but it's called CPK 3.0. I mean, it's using the actual standard deviation. So basically, if you want to see the words PPK, the nomenclature, then you're going to want to use AIAG.
So just to clarify that a little bit, by turning on the estimated option, you'll get both PPK and CPK. So AIG does that stat set does allow you to display both sets. The PPK and CPK, just by having estimated turned on, that will allow both sets to be displayed, and they'll both show up in the histogram. If you go into the histogram, right-click on the histogram itself, you can play around with what those options are so you can understand how they are affected. And then within DSC, you can go permanently turn them on the way you want to have them on, whether you want just PPK or if you want PPK and CPK, so you turn on estimated. And again, if you needed some more details on how to switch those around or turn those on, we'd be glad to answer that if you have any more questions on how that's done.
All right.
If you have any more questions, now would be a good time to send them in before we kind of wrap up the webinar for today. All right. right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I would like to thank everyone for coming today. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'd also like to thank our solutions engineering and professional services team here at DataMyte for their time today in showing us these reporting capabilities available within DataMetrics. Our next webinar we plan to have March 27th. We plan to talk more in depth and kind of at a higher level about data collection and the challenges that companies are facing today with data collection on the factory floor, along with strategies and solutions for proactive process control. So we hope you're able to join us for that and be on the lookout for invites coming out for that webinar. Anything else? And anyway, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And have a great rest of the day.
Thank you all.